Fuck me, I said, I really can't be bothered to make any awful music today. Whatever shall I do instead? Home. I know. Let's get a bus somewhere. It would take my thoughts off of slitting my own fucking throat for a few hours. So off I went to jump on whatever bus I could find. It didn't matter where that bitch bus was heading, we're just getting on a bus. I'm at the fucking bus station now. There are about a dozen various numbered shelters and I am standing under number 6. The bus is already 12 minutes late. Fucking typical, the first time I've ever taken a bus, and it's late. I'm disgusted. The driver is probably some kind of retard who would be better suited for a job that involved drooling all day. We'll see. There is a really tall guy standing next to me reading a book called The Joy of Sex and Miracle of Childbirth. I says to him, "Hey mate, you really reading that book about bumping uglies in public?" He replied, "Yeah, I'm learning about doing it." I was like, "Oh, all right then, it's a pretty good book, I've got it on my kitchen shelf." He smiled at me and then turned back to his book. His face turned from a smile to a grimace. Maybe it was the chapter about using afterbirth as a skin lotion. I decided not to ask. And besides, the bus had just arrived. A few people got off the bus, a few people got on, then, I was staring eye to eye with the driver. "Where you going?" he asked me. "Anywhere, Mr. Bus Driver," I replied as I threw $39 into his metal coin receptacle. "I don't give 3 fucks or a shit, just drive me somewhere that isn't full of filth and misery. I demand a good town, with good people, and at least 20 bars and pubs." The bus driver stared at me wearily, and some drool fell out of his mouth and splattered onto the steering wheel. Finally he said, "Yes, madam." We were off on our bus adventure. I took a seat near the back of the bus. I didn't want to be near that creepy driver. I'm pretty sure I saw his face on a rapist wanted list. He's definitely a rapist. I'm on a bus, being driven by a drooling sex offender. I take a look around at the people sat around me. About 6 people, not many. We must be crazy, placing our lives in the hands of this fucking retard drool merchant. There is a man who looks about 100 sat a few seats away from me. I says to him, "Excuse me mate, did you notice that the guy driving this bus looks like a drooling rapist?" Because I fucking did. He looked at me, full of shock. "A racist," he said to me, "a racist bus driver." I shouted back to him, "Probably that too." "Yes." He looked disgruntled. "Oh yes he did." My mobile telephone buzzed in my pocket. I looked, and it was a message from Janet. It said, "Hey, what are you doing today? I want to go fishing. I bought 17 new rods. They are proper good ones. Big firm rods. Where are you? I wanna kill some fish." I laughed out loud, and the 100-year-old man in front of me jumped out of his seat. I texted back the following. "What is up my fucking ho slag dog? I can't do shit today, I'm on a bus. I paid $39 for the privilege. See you later Janet you massive fat cunt." The bus came to a slow dramatic stop, and a lady with a large dog got on. She had a gigantic sack of potatoes under one of her arms, and there was a small carry case on the back of her dog that had tiny little bags of microscopic potatoes stuffed inside it. I'm pretty sure that I saw that. She sat down and the bus resumed its journey. I looked out of the window. I saw a cat, standing on 2 legs, eating an ice cream. I watched a man scratching his balls. Some women on a bike went past. There was this man, wearing a green jacket, just walking down the street. Then, I saw a pigeon flying over the man, taking the biggest shit I've ever seen a pigeon have. It was gargantuan. The Godzilla of pigeon feces. The bird shit seemed to have the consistency of diarrhea, but it was white and black and also speckly. I watched the incredible puddle of turds fly through the air majestically, then it splattered the man in the jacket, all over his back. It was like witnessing a giant infected cum shot, right before my eyes. The pigeon had a second anal evacuation mere seconds after the last, and such was the trajectory of the bird's anus and the man in the green jacket's position, that he was facially splattered with even more grotty pigeon dung. I grinned and thought to myself, yeah, $39 well spent. The lady with the dog at the front of the bus had opened up her sack of potatoes, and she was eating them. I was pretty sure that most normal people cook their potatoes before eating them, but this bitch was just munching this potato right there and then. Her dog was staring at the driver intensely. He seems to sense something dreadful about him, and I'm certain also that he's a drooling waste of sperm. I can't believe they let a fucktard like him drive a bus. I'd rather have Freddy Krueger drive my bus, fuck it, I'd rather have a tennis ball drive my bus. At least a tennis ball wouldn't drool and come all over his work vehicle. I looked out of the window again, there was a road sign. Priest Hole Road. The old man in front of me got up to exit the bus. Have a good day, mister, I yelled at him. He turned to me and said, you too, my friend, and I'm going to tell that driver what I think of him. I smiled and watched him hobble to the front of the bus. He pointed at the driver and shouted at him. It's disgusting, a racist bus driver. Don't you try to deny it. You'll be hearing from my local politician, you really are a disgusting man. Look at you drooling all over the steering wheel. It's everywhere. Stop, just stop. Then, he finally got off the bus. From where I was sitting, I could hear the driver muttering something in some kind of foreign tongue, and the sound of distant splattering was always consistent. The woman with the sack of potatoes was now devouring her seventh one. There were potato remnants all over the floor, but not even her dog would eat that filth. The noises she made were grotesque, a chewy smulching noise that complemented the drooling driver. I was starting to feel a bit fucking sick. I decided to get up and sit next to the potato woman. She looked at me like a ravenous beast. I smiled and said, "Good morning. How are you doing today?" She didn't really reply to me so much as just make a series of grunts. She ate more potatoes too. I continued, "Wow, I really am excited to be on this fucking bus today. I saw a man in a green jacket get shat on, it was insane." The woman continued to eat her potato silently. Her dog was still staring at the dildo bus driver. There was so much drool at the front of the bus that a puddle of it had formed and was traveling slowly towards the first set of seats. "So," I said to the woman, "do you like to watch porn?" "Because I do. I like to watch men and women and animals all going at it, coming and shitting and just fucking doing everything to any hole that's fucking going, just blowing cock snot and anal grease all over a pig's dirty cunt whilst your mother and father are watching. I think this bus would benefit from having large televisions installed in the back of every seat that showed hardcore pornography all day long." The potato woman had nothing to say to this either, and I concluded that she must be stupid or something. I got up and went back to my original seat. I was getting a bit bored now. There wasn't much to do, and I was getting hungry. "Yo bus driver," I shouted, "how long till we fucking get there?" There was no reply. "Oi bus driver, old rapey McRaper son, yeah I know all about you. We all do, you're a drooling rapist." There was still no reply. He blatantly knows I'm right, it was obvious. The woman with the dog dropped her empty sack on the floor and her dog crawled into it. She must have eaten like 50 potatoes. Suddenly, everything turned black. The bus had entered some kind of tunnel. I looked out of the window and could see only soot and grey dirt. As the bus rattled and vibrated through the dark, the woman stood up, picked up the old potato bag with her dog inside and uncrossed her legs. She exposed her large anus hole to me, and used both her arms to push and shove the entire bag inside herself. The dog made horrific squeals of resentment as it was forced deeper and deeper into the strange potato lady's butthole, and her anus looked like a repulsive alien mouth devouring its prey. Then she sat back down. I'm traveling on a bus. The driver is a rapist, and a woman just shoved a dog up her asshole.